Veronika's life was forever changed in an instant when her motorcycle crashed on a winding Austrian road. It was a sunny summer afternoon, August 15, 1981, and Veronika Barthel, a 35-year-old Austrian woman, was riding her motorcycle through the picturesque countryside of Austria. The road was narrow and winding, with steep cliffs and dense forests surrounding it. Veronika, an experienced motorcyclist, was enjoying the thrill of the ride, feeling the wind in her hair and the sun on her face. She'd been riding for hours, and the scenic views and fresh air had filled her with a sense of freedom and joy. As she rounded a sharp curve, Veronika lost control of her motorcycle. The bike skidded on the gravel road, and Veronika was thrown off, landing heavily on the rocky ground. She tried to get up, but a searing pain shot through her body and she fell back down unconscious. The next thing Veronika knew, she was being rushed to the hospital in an ambulance, her body broken and bruised. The ambulance sirens blared as it sped through the winding roads, the paramedics working frantically to stabilize Veronika's condition. She was bleeding profusely from a severe head injury, and her vital signs were weakening by the minute. The paramedics administered oxygen and tried to keep her stable, but Veronika's condition continued to deteriorate. As they arrived at the hospital, the medical team sprang into action, rushing Veronika into the emergency room. The hospital was a flurry of activity, with doctors and nurses rushing to attend to Veronika's critical condition. The emergency room was filled with the beeping of machines and the antiseptic smell of hospital disinfectant. Veronika's family was called, and they rushed to the hospital, worried sick about her condition. The doctors worked tirelessly to save Veronika's life, but her injuries were severe, and her chances of survival were slim. As the medical team fought to save her life, Veronika's body began to shut down. Her heart rate slowed, and her blood pressure dropped. The doctors and nurses worked feverishly to revive her, but despite their best efforts, Veronika's heart stopped beating. The machines surrounding her bed flatlined, and the room fell silent. Veronika was clinically dead, and the medical team was left to wonder if they had done everything they could to save her. The minutes ticked by, each one feeling like an eternity. Veronika's family was left to wait anxiously, hoping against hope that she would pull through. The doctors and nurses continued to work on her, trying to revive her, but it seemed like all hope was lost. And then, just as all seemed lost, something strange happened. Veronika's body, which had been still and unresponsive for 19 minutes, began to stir. The machines surrounding her bed began to beep once more, and the medical team held their collective breath as they waited to see what would happen next. But what happened next would change everything, and Veronika's life would never be the same again. As the medical team waited with bated breath, Veronika's eyes flickered open, and she took a deep breath. But was she really back, or was something more extraordinary happening? As she hovered above her body, Veronika experienced a sense of freedom and joy she had never known before. She described it as feeling like a bird that had been set free from its cage, and said that she could see herself and the people around her from a unique perspective. I was floating above my body, watching the doctors and nurses working on me, and I felt no pain or fear, she recalled. This out-of-body sensation was just the beginning of a profound and life-changing experience. As Veronika continued to float above her body, she started to feel a gentle pull, like a soft tug on a rope, drawing her towards a tunnel or a passageway. She described it as a long, dark tunnel that was filled with a warm, golden light, and said that she felt an overwhelming sense of peace and tranquility as she moved towards it. I wasn't afraid or worried about what was happening, she said. I just felt a sense of curiosity and wonder. As she approached the end of the tunnel, she saw a bright shining light that seemed to envelop her in its radiance. It was then that Veronika saw her deceased relatives, who had passed away many years before. She remembered feeling a deep sense of joy and happiness at seeing them again, and said that they welcomed her with open arms. "I saw my grandmother, who had died when I was a child, and my uncle, who had passed away just a few years before," she recalled. "They were smiling and happy, and they told me that everything was going to be all right." Veronika said that this reunion was one of the most meaningful and comforting aspects of her near-death experience. As she continued on her journey, Veronika experienced a life review, in which she saw key moments and events from her life played out before her like a movie. She remembered feeling a sense of regret and remorse for some of the choices she had made, but also a deep sense of gratitude and appreciation for the people and experiences that had enriched her life. "I saw my childhood, my relationships, my accomplishments and failures," she said. "It was like watching a film, but it was also deeply personal and emotional." Veronika said that this life review gave her a newfound perspective on her life and helped her to understand the importance of living in the present moment. At some point during her journey, Veronika came to a boundary or a threshold, beyond which she was not allowed to pass. She described it as a kind of border or a frontier, and said that she felt a sense of sadness and reluctance at having to turn back. "I didn't want to leave the peace and happiness that I had found," she said. "I wanted to stay there forever." But she also felt a sense of purpose and responsibility, knowing that she had to return to her body and resume her life. As Veronika turned back from the boundary, she began to feel herself being pulled back into her body. She described it as a kind of gentle tugging or pulling, and said that she felt a sense of resistance and reluctance at having to leave the peaceful state she had entered. "I didn't want to come back," she said. "I wanted to stay in that beautiful, peaceful place." But as she slowly returned to her body, she began to feel the pain and discomfort of her physical injuries, and she knew that she was back in the world of the living. And it was at this moment, as she took her first breaths back in her body, that the medical team surrounding her finally succeeded in resuscitating her, bringing her back from the brink of death and restoring her to the world of the living. But what happens to the brain during a near-death experience? And can science explain the vivid sensations and feelings reported by NDE survivors like Veronika? This is a question that has puzzled researchers for decades, with various theories and studies attempting to shed light on the mysterious phenomenon. Dr. Sam Parnia, a renowned expert in the field of near-death experiences from Southampton University, has conducted extensive research on the subject. In his 2014 AWARE study, Parnia and his team found that nearly 40% of patients who had been resuscitated from cardiac arrest reported some level of consciousness or awareness during the period when they were clinically dead. This challenges the conventional understanding of the brain's ability to function during such periods. One of the key findings of Parnia's study was the presence of neural correlates, which are specific brain regions and processes that are associated with conscious experience. However, the study also highlights the limitations of current scientific understanding, as the exact mechanisms by which these neural correlates give rise to subjective experience remain unclear. Dr. Pim van Lommel, a cardiologist from Marine State Hospital, has also made significant contributions to the field. In his 2001 study, van Lommel found that nearly 18% of patients who had been resuscitated from cardiac arrest reported a near-death experience, characterized by feelings of peace, joy, and detachment from their physical bodies. Van Lommel's study suggests that near-death experiences may be related to changes in brain activity. particularly in regions such as the temporal lobe and the limbic system. However, the study also acknowledges that the current understanding of the neural correlates of consciousness is incomplete and that more research is needed to fully explain the phenomenon. The debate surrounding the neural correlates of consciousness is ongoing, with some researchers arguing that consciousness arises from specific brain processes, while others propose that consciousness may be a non-physical entity that cannot be reduced to purely neural mechanisms. Dr. Chris Frith, a neuroscientist from University College London, has proposed that near-death experiences may be related to changes in the brain's default mode network, which is responsible for introspection and self-reflection. According to Frith, the default mode network may become active during periods of reduced cortical activity, such as during cardiac arrest, leading to the characteristic feelings of detachment and unity reported by NDE survivors. However, this theory is not universally accepted, and more research is needed to fully understand the neural mechanisms underlying near-death experiences. Another area of research that has garnered significant attention in recent years is the study of the neural correlates of consciousness during anesthesia. Dr. Adrian Owen, a neuroscientist from the University of Western Ontario, has used functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, to study the brain activity of patients who are under anesthesia. Owen's research has shown that even when patients are unconscious, their brains may still be active, and that certain regions, such as the prefrontal cortex, may be more active than others. The implications of this research are significant, as they suggest that consciousness may be more resilient than previously thought, and that the brain may be capable of supporting conscious experience even in the absence of overt behavioral responses. However, the study of near-death experiences is not without its challenges, and many questions remain unanswered. What is the exact relationship between the neural correlates of consciousness and subjective experience? Can near-death experiences be induced or replicated in a laboratory setting? And what are the implications of near-death experiences for our understanding of the nature of consciousness and the human experience? Despite the many advances that have been made in the field, much remains to be discovered. The scientific community continues to debate the nature of consciousness and the relationship between the brain and the mind. While some researchers argue that consciousness can be reduced to purely neural mechanisms, others propose that consciousness may be a non-physical entity that cannot be fully explained by current scientific theories. As researchers continue to explore the mysteries of near-death experiences, they may uncover new insights into the nature of consciousness and the human experience, and shed light on one of the most profound and intriguing questions of our time. What happens to us when we die? In conclusion, the study of near-death experiences is a complex and multifaceted field that has garnered significant attention in recent years. While researchers have made significant progress in understanding the neural mechanisms underlying near-death experiences, much remains to be discovered. The ongoing debate surrounding the neural correlates of consciousness and the relationship between the brain and the mind highlights the need for continued research and exploration in this field. Ultimately, a deeper understanding of near-death experiences may shed light on the nature of consciousness and the human experience, and provide new insights into one of the most profound and intriguing questions of our time. Veronika's experience raises fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness and the possibility of an afterlife. Philosophically, it challenges our understanding of the mind-body relationship and the concept of personal identity. If the mind can exist independently of the brain, as Veronika's experience suggests, then what does this mean for our understanding of free will and moral responsibility? Dr. Sam Parnia, a leading researcher in the field of near-death studies, notes that The nature of consciousness is still one of the greatest mysteries of our time, and near-death experiences provide a unique window into this mystery. According to Dr. Parnia's AWARE study, published in 2014, many patients who had been resuscitated from cardiac arrest reported conscious awareness and memory of events that occurred while they were clinically dead. From a skeptical perspective, near-death experiences can be explained by brain activity and neurological processes. For example, the feeling of being out of one's body can be induced by electrical stimulation of the brain's temporal lobe. However, this does not fully account for the complexity and richness of near-death experiences, which often involve a sense of profound meaning and insight. Dr. Pim van Lommel, a Dutch cardiologist who has studied near-death experiences, notes that the experience of being dead is not just a matter of brain activity, but a fundamental aspect of human consciousness that challenges our materialistic worldview. His 2001 study, which surveyed 344 patients who had been resuscitated from cardiac arrest, found that 18% reported having a near-death experience, and that these experiences were often accompanied by a sense of peace, joy, and detachment from the physical body. The implications of near-death experiences for our fear of death are profound. If, as Veronika's experience suggests, death is not the end of consciousness, but rather a transition to a new state of being, then this could fundamentally change our relationship with death. We might no longer fear death as an absolute endpoint, but rather see it as a doorway to a new dimension of existence. This in turn could change the way we live our lives, as we would no longer be driven by the same fear of mortality. As Dr. Van Lommel notes, near-death experiences can have a profound impact on a person's life, often leading to a greater appreciation for life and a deeper sense of purpose. Moreover, near-death experiences challenge our conventional understanding of time and space. Veronika's experience of being out of her body and watching events unfold from a non-physical perspective raises questions about the nature of time and the relationship between the self and the external world. This has implications for our understanding of the human experience and the ways in which we navigate the world. If, as Veronika's experience suggests, we are not limited by our physical bodies, then what does this mean for our understanding of identity and selfhood? As we consider the implications of near-death experiences, we are forced to confront our own mortality and the mystery of what lies beyond. Veronika's experience and those of countless others like her challenge us to rethink our assumptions about the nature of reality and the human experience. As Dr. Parnia notes, near-death experiences are a reminder that there is still so much we do not know about the universe and our place within it. Ultimately, the implications of near-death experiences are not just intellectual or philosophical, but deeply personal. They invite us to reflect on our own values, priorities, and sense of purpose, and to consider what it means to live a life that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling. As we ponder the mystery of near-death experiences, we are drawn into a deeper exploration of ourselves and the world around us. And we are reminded that, even in the face of death, there is always the possibility for transformation, growth, and renewal. For Veronika, the near-death experience was a transformative event that changed her perspective on life, death, and the human experience. As she reflected on the journey she undertook while her body lay motionless in the hospital bed, she began to see the world with fresh eyes. The vivid sensations and feelings she experienced during those 19 minutes when her heart had stopped beating left an indelible mark on her psyche. The sense of peace, the feeling of freedom, and the joy that permeated every fiber of her being had awakened a new dimension within her. It was as if she had been given a rare gift, a glimpse into the unknown, a hint of the mysteries that lay beyond the veil of the mundane world. As she delved deeper into the mystery of her near-death experience, Veronika found herself grappling with fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness and the human condition. She began to wonder if the essence of who we are is more than just the sum of our physical parts. Is it possible that our consciousness, our sense of self, can exist independently of our bodily functions? The experience had left her with more questions than answers, and yet she felt an inexplicable sense of peace, a sense of trust in the universe and its workings. Veronika's near-death experience had also changed her perspective on life. She no longer took things for granted, no longer sweated the small stuff. She had caught a glimpse of the bigger picture, and it had put everything into perspective. She had realized that life is precious, fleeting, and mysterious. It is a journey that is full of twists and turns, full of surprises and unexpected events. And yet, it is in these moments of uncertainty that we discover our greatest strengths, our deepest resilience, and our most profound connections with others. The question that Veronika's story leaves us with is a profound one. What if our consciousness is more than just a product of our brain activity? What if it is a fundamental aspect of the universe, a thread that weaves together the fabric of existence? If we take this idea seriously, it would change everything. It would change the way we approach life, the way we approach death, and the way we approach each other. It would invite us to embrace the mystery, to lean into the unknown, and to trust in the wisdom of the universe. As we sit with the mystery of Veronika's near-death experience, we are reminded of the complexity and the wonder of the human experience. We are reminded that there is still so much we do not know, so much that lies beyond the reach of our scientific instruments and our rational understanding. And yet, it is in this unknown that we find the greatest beauty, the greatest wisdom, and the greatest mystery. It is an invitation to embark on a journey of discovery, a journey that takes us to the very limits of our knowledge and our understanding. It is an invitation to explore the depths of our own consciousness, to listen to the whispers of our own heart, and to trust in the wisdom of the universe. As we reflect on Veronika's story, we are left with a sense of awe, a sense of wonder, and a sense of curiosity about the mysteries that lie at the very heart of our existence.